Hi, welcome to our final and last week 6 parenting class. We are talking about repairing relationships today. We've gone on a journey, haven't we, Sydney?
We have.
On a bunch of different ways to work with kids and how to work on parenting with them. And so we've given you a bunch of strategies, we've given you a bunch of traps that we possibly could fall into as parents. And now this is the part and the final week where we're going to talk about repairing relationships. My name is Brandy Patarakis, and this is Sydney. She's an intern here with us at Bluebee Counseling Services, and we're so glad that you're here with us. Sydney, take it away. Tell us all about how to repair relationships.
Okay, so this is our fifth R of the 5 R's, repair, which is kind of our end all. Kind of brings us full circle, sums up everything that we've been learning. And our main message is that you're not going to be perfect parents. You're going to make mistakes. You are being the parent that you want to be most of the time. That is your goal, being the parent most of the time. And with mistakes, there will be moments of repair. So
for sure,
we want to talk about why repair is important, because you have your emotional and psychological well-being, and then repairing also builds trust and opens communication with your child, and then it enhances your family harmony. So building those strong relationships, it falls back on our first R, relationships, and how we can make those stronger in order that when moments of repair come in, it doesn't break the relationship.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And I think repairing is like any time that you feel like there was just something that just didn't quite add up right in the way that you handled the issue with your child. It also could be, repairing the relationship with your husband or with your partner in front of the child so that they can learn proper ways of repairing. But the majority of what we're talking about today is about you and your child and how to repair that relationship moving forward, so we can create an element of safety, so that when we create safety in the home, then the child feels safe and able to be vulnerable to come back and like have peace and a constant, like, non-threatening way about living in a relationship in the home. And so that's kind of what we mean by that.
Yeah. So why is repair needed? Because there's miscommunication. We all have moments where sometimes we say things and it comes out maybe not the way we wanted to deliver it. And then there's misunderstandings. Maybe you meant something, but they took it a different way, and you didn't mean for it to go that way. We need repair when there is lack of quality time together, differing expectations and discipline styles, and external stressors being school, work, social pressures. Sometimes you had a long day at work and you come home and your child asks you a question that you just can't even think about, and you snap or you get angry. It's not their fault that you got angry. It's because you've had a long day at work. There were other contexts in the situation that are involved. And so sitting down with your child and explaining, like, hi, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get angry at you. I had a long day. Can we talk about this later?
I love that. It's like, while that's not all right or okay that I got mad at you in that way, what I should have said was this. And so it kind of repairs it and makes you a safe person, because they also learn that we are human and we make mistakes and we do things that we're not proud of or we like, but at the end of the day, we know how to repair it and come back.
And that sets an example for your child to then later on be able to repair their own relationships or come to you when they feel like they need to repair their relationship with you. Okay, so what is the key to repair? Empathy and understanding. When you listen actively and validate their feelings, it helps them feel understood, and then it helps you develop empathy for them. They develop empathy for you. And then consistency and reliability, being dependable, following through with your promises so that they know, okay, they stick to what they say and it doesn't seem like an empty promise.
I love that.
So this kind of reminded me of our communication style.
It did me too.
Right?
And I was like, this is fascinating, because definitely we have to get into the listen, which is we're hearing to understand them from their perspective, not from ours, right? And we're not seeking to listen so that we can be understood or we can be heard. This is like listening so we can understand them. It's also coming at it with a heart of peace and not a heart of war,
Mhm.
which is sometimes really hard as parents to do.
Right.
And then getting back down into the mirroring, which is, mirroring back what we're hearing them say. So they have the ability to change it and be like, if that's not what I'm trying to say, or that's not what I said this, then we can be like, oh, let's repair that. Let's make sure that we hear appropriately. And it adds a level of validation to it when we mirror back what we're hearing them say. And then the last part is validating. And this is really important because sometimes mirroring and validating can go hand in hand, such as, I can see that you're frustrated. It looks like you're really sad about your friend not coming over to play today. And I can see how that would be frustrating because you were really looking forward to that. So you can see how I mirrored back and validated them at the same time. And validating is from their perspective. And it doesn't mean that we have to say that it was all right and okay that they did that thing that they did, like your child sneaking out at night. And then you're like, how do I validate that? And it's like, but there's a way of validating it that's not saying it's all right or okay that you do that. But the validation could be, and the mirroring back, you felt the need to sneak out at night and you did so. And I can see how you felt the need to sneak out because all of your friends were pressuring you, or, you were really excited about understanding, or that curiosity kind of killed the cat in there, didn't it?
Mhm.
Validating from their side of the couch and from their perspective. And then you see that line that goes across. That is the part where their walls come down and they're able to be vulnerable with you, and so that we can get into the redirection. And this is the part that I kind of wanted to say in here is, you can see all the different ways that we can redirect. There's like education and deeper validation and conforming, depending on your circumstances. I love asking questions. Asking questions is the one way to like help them. Like if your kid's sneaking out at night, maybe it's not going to let me educate you and teach you how, and let's get you to conform back to the rules of our family and society, and this is what's going to happen to you, and let's tell you all of the futuristic things of why this could be detrimental to your health. But I love the asking questions, because it's like, well, tell me, like, what did get in the way there, or how did you feel after that? Sometimes I even like, and I'll teach my clients, like, how do I be a mom that you need for me, right? Like, what kind of mom do you need of me right now to help you in this? Like, where do you think like all of this went wrong, or why do you think I got so panicky and I did that thing that I kind of regret doing? Why, like, what do you think happened there? And so I think all of this is really good. One of the ones that is not on here is repair, right? Like, again, there's all different ways that redirect can take us, but repair is one of them. Like, learning now, like, sometimes it's not about education, it's not about asking questions or making statements, but it is about repairing
and fixing that relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I can see how like maybe education in the moment of where a child is sneaking back in after sneaking out probably would not be the best case, but maybe sometimes it could be.
Yeah, sometimes education is great, and sometimes I like to use the education and asking questions together of like, well, what do you know about that?
Yeah. Why do you think it's not? I didn't think it was okay for you to be sneaking out in the middle of the night.
Yeah, I love that.
Because I know if they like just educated me, my parents, I would have been like, oh crap, like I'm scared.
Yeah.
Okay, so some other communication tips that we want to talk about is active listening, making eye contact, paraphrasing what they say, so that's kind of the mirroring, asking open-ended questions to get them like to start having their own thought-provoking answers, and they can actually explain themselves, and the more that they're able to share their side of the story, I guess, helps them feel more heard and listened. Encourage them to express more. Especially with teenagers, it may be hard to get them to actually talk. Like they get in the car after school and you're like, how's their day? Good.
Yeah. And that's where we ask a different question, such as, what was the best thing that happened today?
Right. Rephrasing.
Yeah. Give me the best and the worst. What was it?
And then having non-judgmental responses, that can be also hard. And then avoiding criticism or immediate solutions. I know sometimes I would get in the car after school and I'd tell like my mom this funny story that I thought was hysterical, and it always like would turn into a teaching moment of like, you shouldn't have done that. And then I'd be like,
I'm a
Yeah.
bad person. I'm no good. The shame.
Yeah.
Yeah. But instead, how validating it could have been to be like, oh my gosh, it seems like you really fell for a trap in that one.
Uh-huh.
Or wow, what do you think happened there? Or how, if you could do that all over again, what would you do? Like, there's a different strategies and ways to go about it to like help your kid come to the answer of the
Themselves.
solution for themselves.
Mhm.
And then they might not push back so much.
Mhm. Or like sometimes when your child comes to you and they're like frustrated about something and then you try to like immediately fix it, sometimes your child isn't looking for an answer to their problem. They're just looking for someone to listen.
Most of the time.
Uh-huh.
They're looking for just someone to listen. And it's not just about the listening, it's about the validating.
Mhm.
They need to feel like what they did was all right and okay.
Mhm.
Like
100%.
they are not bad person because they had this thought or they did this thing.
Mhm.
Even if it's a wrong thing and they know it's wrong,
They need that validation.
they do need the validation, and we can validate them in being like, you're a really good kid. What happened here?
Yeah.
Like, seems like you fell off a slippery slope there for a moment. And interesting enough, so did I.
Mhm.
So do most people. We are human.
Right.
It's okay to be human. It's okay to make mistakes. So now what do we do about it? Is there a level of repair for that other person that maybe you did harm to, or you did know something that was hurtful or wrong to? And is there a way for us to, redirect this back into a place where we can like reconnect and gain that relationship back? Or do we have to have acceptance and let it go, maybe?
Mhm.
And chalk it up to the fact that we're human and we made a mistake,
Mhm.
and they're not willing to like move on from that.
Yeah.
And I'm not a bad person, and you're not a bad person because of it.
I mean, I fall in that trap all the time, for sure.
Mhm.
Okay, so say something happens and that trust is broken. So we want to talk about a little bit of rebuilding that trust, apologizing sincerely. I think as a parent, it can be really hard to be the one to apologize to the child. But it helps your child see that the parent is not perfect. And
Yeah, it's
they
critical.
will appreciate it so
Mhm.
much when a parent is willing to take a moment to be like, I made the mistake. Let me apologize to you. I'm sorry.
It is critical for their growth and development
Mhm.
that they hear how to have apologies.
Mhm.
It is important for them to see you make mistakes in parenting and for you to try to repair that with them. It is critical.
Mhm.
They have to see this. This is how they're going to move forward with their relationships with other people and how they can learn how to repair them, how to recognize that they are human and they make mistakes, and with their spouses and partners.
Right.
Like, so it is super important that we come back at the end of the day and repair and rebuild that trust. Just so you know, too, you can't have a relationship without trust.
Mhm.
Try it. It doesn't work.
It won't work.
It doesn't work. So there has to be a level of trust that's being built back in there.
So like admitting when you're wrong,
Mhm.
showing genuine remorse, saying, I am so sorry for the way that I made you feel. I did not want to make you feel that way.
This one is really important because I tend as a parent to go back to, well, I did that because like let me tell you why I did that so that you can like make me feel better and understand me. And this isn't about you. Like, it's super important. And yes, there's a place and a time for that where you can redirect and get back in there and be like, oh, I'm so sorry. And they'll be more likely to listen to you if you can pull their walls down, like we talked about in that slide right before. But if we can't get their walls down, they can't hear you. They're not, all they're going to think of is about themselves. And so this becomes really important for you to say, oh, like here's my remorse, and this is why I'm so sad and why I'm so wrong in this, so that they can mirror back and figure out how to do that for themselves in order to create that relationship with other people.
For sure. And some review basically from a few slides ago, it's like keeping promises and building reliability over time, which just comes with being there consistently.
And attachments.
Oh, back to those attachments. They're really important. They are like the basis of everything.
Yeah.
So some other 4 stages of building trust is having consistency, and then confidence, and empower, and inspire.
Love those. I'm so glad you threw this slide. I know. I love this slide in here because I think that's so important that you find that consistency, because over time, that's what, like, it's that longevity, it's the game of longevity, and then filling the confidence in it and the empowerment and teaching them to inspire, like, or feeling inspirational from that. I think those are so good. I'm glad you
Mhm.
put that on there. Like, I am trustworthy
Yeah.
and you should trust me and it's okay to trust me.
And I just think also with consistency is like if there are moments of inconsistency over like a period of years and say like you decide you want to be more consistent, like that trust is already kind of broken and it's going to take 10 times more amounts of being consistent to prove and rebuild that trust with your child or even with your partner or a friend. Like consistency is everything in relationships.
Yes. And so just because you said, "Oh, I'm so sorry I've missed all of your baseball, meets, or what they call those games."
James.
I will be, I promise I'll be there to this one. What kind of consistency, what kind of trust do you think that they have in you?
They
They're going to
may
be like,
hope for it, but
yes.
they like don't expect it.
Yeah. And then they're even, now we have a deeper level of trust that's broken because you promised and now they know that you don't hold to your promises.
Exactly. Okay, moving on to quality time. We talked a little bit about how quality time was a good way to repair and build trust again. So the importance of shared activities. I think in a previous week we talked about delight moments and how having moments of delight with your child just improves their connection with you and doing things that they enjoy, not always choosing the activity, let them pick. Creating new traditions. I think that is something that we haven't really talked about, but doing little things with them that is like a tradition, it makes them feel special. And that's important. And I know for me, my mom every Tuesday brought me a Starbucks. That was like a tradition. And I remember thinking it was cool in school because I had something to drink. I don't know why, but it was a tradition that it was just me and her, and it was something that was important to me.
I love that.
And then daily check-ins, short but meaningful interactions. Maybe with your kids, with younger kids, it can be a little longer of an interaction, but teens usually don't want to have meaningful interactions for very long because it makes them uncomfortable. But having those short but meaningful interactions throughout every day with your child is so important.
They actually say that you just need 5 minutes of time with your child every day for them to build trust and to feel security and to gain an attachment. I think that's super important. We're talking about car rides to and from school.
Yeah.
We're talking about just putting down your phone and making eye contact with them and like sharing a genuine interest in the things that they're doing. And they can feel the genuinity or not in the things that you're curious about and excited about or not.
Exactly. And so handling conflict. So there are going to be moments where there is major conflict and you're going to wonder, how do I de-escalate this? Staying calm, taking a break if needed. Sometimes you may need to step away from the conversation in order to not have major conflict.
And if they follow you, then just say, "Mommy's going into timeout for a minute." Like I use bathroom breaks is a really great way. I have to go to the bathroom.
Can we put a pin in this? I have to go to the bathroom.
Yep, and that will de-escalate.
Finding solutions together, collaborating, problem solving, compromises, and negotiation helps them feel like they have a voice as well, and not you just handling the conflict all you, but handling it together. Because that also teaches them skills.
No, we want to problem solve and fix the problem, and sometimes it's not about that.
Yeah. All right, this brings us to the end. Just a little reminder is that rupture and repair is a part of the way healthy kids grow and thrive. So just because there's moments that you need to repair, don't think, okay, I have to repair this, I failed. No.
Bad mom. I hear it all the time in my office.
Repair is essential for your kids to learn how to be healthy and resilient.
Yes.
Which is our umbrella R under all the 5 R's that we've talked about the last 5 weeks, and resiliency we talked about in week 1.
Yes. We're at this moment here where we're ending all of our parenting classes. And definitely these are not to replace therapy. They're just a little add-on with it. And so if you're feeling like extreme distress or frustrations in your environment at home, you're feeling like things are dysfunctional and not really carrying through quite the way that you would love to have peace be in your home, definitely reach out to one of us here at Bluebee Counseling so we can get you on one of our schedules so you can be seen. We can help with the parenting issues on that as well, not just with the child itself, but maybe find a therapist for you as a parent to feel some validation in the things that you're doing and help you find ways to repair this at a deeper level. Of course, this is one way of doing it. There's multiple, many different ways of being a parent, and you have to find out what's right for you and your child. And so, trying some of these things, that trial and error thing is real, and seeing how it works. And it might work with one child and not the other. And so, just being open to new things and change, and definitely reach out for more help if needed. Thank you so much for joining us with our parenting classes. This is the last one. And we're hoping that you'll join us for our other classes here at Bluebee Counseling that are coming soon. So have a wonderful day, and we will hopefully see you soon.
Perfect. Thank you.